Hello and welcome back to another live stream here on Mikey's Flightdeck. And today with something special, I think, or at least for those who like configuring all these panels, this is a full configuring live stream today. We're diving deep into MobiFlight and Prosim. So let's say hello to everyone here on the chat here. So Flowfi, happy to see you here. Yes, nice to have you here with me. Yeah, and to all others who are watching the stream, let's describe shortly what I'm planning for today here. So MobiFlight has brought out the new, I will call it a connection between MobiFlight and Prosim. At the moment, I'm configuring my hardware and the Arduinos that they are communicating via FSUIPC with the simulator. So all the datas are going, I think I can imagine it as a string, a long sign sentence, and this is sent as a long string via FSUIPC to the simulator. And I think this has limits. It works fine when you just have an EFIS panel, an MCP, such only a single unit that communicates with the simulator. And I made the experiences when I have my full setup working. So the overhead, pedestal, MIP, and what I have there. Then I had big problems with synchronizing the hardware to the software. So I'm starting up everything and the hardware doesn't reflect the software state, or the other way around. No? When you connect your overhead, your hardware switches are in a situation, and then the software has to mirror this situation, I think. Yeah, and this didn't happen. Or it took a long time until it is synchronized. Yeah, and now when I started switching over to this new MobiFlight Prosim communication, I had the feeling that this worked way faster. plus the advantage that you have less configuration work to do here. Yeah, and now we want to have a look here into how this configuration works. Let's go over here. I have opened the new MobiFlight interface here on the right side, and my good old connection sheet Excel here, which I'm now editing since I think 6 years now, 6 or 5 years now. Yeah. So we have new people here in the chat. Hello and welcome. Grab a drink. This will be a deep dive into configuring here. Yeah, what is now the advantage of this cheat? Or well, let's start a little bit at the beginning, so we have time here now. What is this configuration sheet for? Here I'm documenting all my cabling and the configuration behind this, and the connections. So every line here has a number. The number shows also which Arduino is meant here. So here we have the Arduino A, down there Arduino D, E, and so on. So the pin of the Arduino that is used and what type this device is. Here we have buttons, LEDs, 7-segment displays, and so on. And in the back here we have the D-sub connector, so the plug that is used to connect the hardware device, the panel, to the Arduino. I have made, I think you have seen this before, I've made such a D-sub connector so that I can easily disassemble everything and take it to my desk for maintenance. So, and this is a D-sub connector A1 or A2, A3, and so on. This is here. And also it is documented which are the ground and the voltage connections. So here we have on the pin 14 of this connector, we have ground, and on pin 15, there is the 5-volt cable connected to. Here. So this is just hardware stuff, cabling and so on. This doesn't have to do much with configuration, at least the pin. This is important in MobiFlight so that MobiFlight knows to which Arduino pin the device is connected to. And here you see the offset. So which type of offset we have here, an 8-bit unsigned offset, and the offset number in this case, and the bit or the hex value, you can call this. Now, when we have for an LED, we only need on or off, so we need 1 bit of the complete byte, and so we can bring or control 8 LEDs with 1 byte of an offset. And these are here from the 66C1 offset. The 0 controls this button, which also needs only on or off. And here 3 for the yaw damper LED, 4 for the flight control low pressure A LED, and so on. Yeah, so this is what I have done in the past. Let's have a look into a configuration of this. So the yaw damper LED A12. Up here we have it. It is connected to a Arduino A. And when we have a look into the configuration here, then you can see here the offset 66C1 is inserted, and the mask value shows here on bit 3, like I have documented here, bit 3. There is a place where it is controlled. So, and this offset, the complete 6061 offset is then sent via FSUIPC to the simulator. And so the simulator can tell the hardware that it has to go on, and with buttons the other way around, I can tell the simulator to switch on or off a button. So, but now we have the possibility to control these devices in the simulator or in Prosim directly. So let's have a look how this works now. Let's have a look to Prosim here. I think when you have watched videos of me in the past, then you have seen these sites here. I'm always going to config and configuration. There we are. And in the combined config tab, there we have all the Prosim, I call this variables, that can be controlled here. And in our case here, what do we search? The yaw damper LED. Well, you can search here in that yaw, and then it filters the list, and we have 4 hits here in the miscellaneous tab and 1 at the MIP. I think it will be here. Under indicators, we have 1 hit, and there we can see the yaw damper LED. And here you can insert that I want to use an FSUIPC offset. This is what I have done until now, and then insert here 66C1.3, because it is the bit number 3, not the 3rd bit. It starts from 0, the counting, but I think you get the idea. Yeah, and this we don't need anymore. We don't have to touch anything here in Prosim now, because these variables are there always. They are always there. The yaw damper variable is there in Prosim, ready to use, and we can communicate directly to it. This is what is now implemented in MobiFlight. And this is a big advantage, because we don't need to insert here anything. And this means we can't make errors here, failures, no? Misspelling something, inserting a wrong offset or a wrong bit. I have done this many times, and then you have to find out why something isn't working like it should. And this can be a long search for the failure. Here, the only thing I think what comes in handy is that you know the name of the variable that you want to communicate with. And I have already written down all these because I needed them here. I didn't really need them, but I thought it would be a good idea to write them down so that I know after which variable I have to search in Prosim in case that I have to do some editing here. Yeah. And now we will need these names in MobiFlight. And this I can show you now. So Humberto is with us in the chat. Hello to Brazil. Hello. So we put Prosim in the background again, and this is important. Prosim has to be running, I think, in the background while we are editing here, because I think MobiFlight establishes a live connection to Prosim and reads out the variables that are there, and then we can choose which variable we want to use here. Yeah, so let's have a look over to MobiFlight. The A12 LED. This is what we want to edit. Which is the panel. Let's have a look here. I have prepared a camera to my overhead. I have my overhead here beside me, and I think we go panel through after panel here. Let's see how far we come this evening. This is the panel. I can't remember how it is called. It has something to do with flight control and so on. I think everyone who has seen my last live stream now knows I rarely know how to fly a Boeing 737. I just can build it at the moment. Yeah, so the yaw damper LED. There it is, the yaw damper LED. Let's test roughly if the thing is working at all. And MobiFlight has a test function here. So we just have to click test. And there it is going on and off again. So the simple hardware connection, Arduino to the LED, this is working. And now we're making the connection to Prosim. So we go into this configuration here. And we change this here from FSUIPC to Prosim. Oh, and now we have to search for these data refs, and I'm already seeing this isn't working. There are some problems here. So, but I think we can fix this. I hope at least. Down here should be a list of values read out from Prosim, and when you search, you make the same function like we have done before, searching in Prosim, and then the results come out here, which matches your search input, and so you can search for the variables that you are looking for. In my case, the yaw damper, but the list isn't there. So how can we receive this list? The best option is always restarting MobiFlight. Let's try this. So I'm closing. Yeah, let's save it. So I'm closing MobiFlight and open it again. Who hadn't seen this before, this is the new MobiFlight start page where you can start your different configurations or your current project, and you can go into it here. It also shows down here which Arduinos are missing at the moment. I haven't connected all the pedestal, for example, the MIP and so on. Just the overhead is connected to the computer. So again, A12 and there we have it. So there it is, the list I have talked about. You can see it's a long list, and this is because Prosim has different ways sometimes for the same device to control it. So let's, for example, an example, some things are controlled via rotary encoders, or you can control it with some pulses up and down. For some things there are normal indicators or gates. So this depends on your simulator hardware, what you are looking for, and it gives you all these possibilities to use it. So we are now searching here for the yaw damper. Let's start yaw, and you can see the list is already reduced. What can we use here? Here, indicator, yaw damper. system byte. This also seems to be an indicator. Yeah, I think this is what we are looking for. Now, up here we have the yaw damper switch. We come to this later. So yaw damper LED. And say OK. So, and now, how can we test this? We bring in our display, and down here I have Prosim displays running. And now we have here the panel that we are working at the moment. And we can test these here by clicking on them here. And this doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Does the simulator has to run? Okay, let's run Prosim. Not Prosim, MobiFlight. No, this doesn't work here. How can we test this? Let's try to test it in Prosim directly. We are searching. Where have we found it? In the Miscellaneous tab. And down here we have different indicators and so on for testing. Yaw damper. No, we can't test this here. Can we only test it when the simulator is running? Oh, we can try restarting Prosim first, and then trying to starting the simulator. So restarting Prosim. Yeah. So this is as opened, and restarting the panels. Zip. We make it smaller. So there we have it. It still doesn't work. Why is this red? Oh, this place. Okay. Yeah, let's try to start the simulator in the background. Okay. Let's start Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, this is the thing when we are live, but so you can see which problems can occur and what you can do when there are any problems. And most of the times, so I think I will switch to the total at the moment, and most of the times this isn't really too bad. So I'm starting now the flight simulator. Yeah, and then let's see if Prosim can do this. Maybe this, oh no, not really an update, no? I didn't expect to, okay, just a small one. Okay, I didn't expect to start the simulator so early in this session. Yeah, so let's have a look at the chat for this moment. Humberto, my biggest problem at this stage was adapting a small button to open the guard. Yeah, if you need this. And so anyone who what is he talking about? The guard. This is the colored cap that what is over the button, the switch, I think. In most cases, it's not important that Prosim knows if the guard is up or down. I have heard in some military planes or simulators, this is important, that you need this, this state. But I didn't came across anything here in the normal Boeing and the Microsoft Flight Simulator in combination with Prosim that this would be necessary here. So we will make a situation that our plane is now here on the ground. We use the Prosim 737, setting it at an airport, and then maybe everything will run. Because it is simulating everything then, yeah. And this is the reason why it took so long for me to switch over to Microsoft Flight Simulator. By the way, did I mention that I'm now switching over to Microsoft Flight Simulator from Prepare 3D now? Yeah. Oh, I have heard some sounds at the moment from Prosim. Let's have a look now how it looks like. The simulator is still starting. Ah, have a look here. And this is already enough so that Prosim is working. Cool. So minimize. Can we minimize the simulator? We can overlay it, no? Work in the background. So this is nice. Okay, back to the beginning. Have a look to the panel. Have a look to Prosim displays down here. And then make a test. So this works, but MobiFlight isn't started. You have to run it. And now. Yes, we made it. So now the communication between MobiFlight and Prosim is established finally, no? Here. And when I test this LED here in the Prosim software, then the hardware LED is lighting up as well. Yeah, some more LEDs. Yeah, some nearly 100 left, no? Okay. Yaw damper, now A13, flight control low pressure, A13, and you can see here, any configuration that still uses FSUIPC has this antenna icon here, and this one here not. And you can see the raw value at 2. Okay, don't know what the 2 means here, but it works. It will be more interesting when we come to rotary switches, for example, later. So A13, go into the configuration and switch it over to Prosim. This time we have the list here, and A13, you can't see this here, and A13, we'll make it a little bit bigger for you. I think this is good. A13, flight control low pressure, flight. There we have it already. Here, flight control low pressure A. And now when you click here, it is transferred to the upper field here of the data ref. If you know this whole name, then you could also copy it out and insert it. But I think there are not many ways where you can copy this away. So, and say OK. And now have a look to the panel, and test it directly in the display where it is. Low pressure A. Oh, we test this in MobiFlight. Oh yeah, test. Ah, there it is. Okay, this one. So the MobiFlight test is okay. And now the display test. Here, low pressure A. Yes. And when we click here, it goes. This goes really fast here. So at least the reconfiguring. Oh, next one. And next one. A14. No, A14, yeah. Low pressure B. And this is what we have to do this evening here. And you don't need to, you don't have to watch me here the whole time, just configuring my overhead. Take this chance and ask your questions if we should look into a configuration in detail. Well, we have the time now here to do this. I'm doing this here all because I have to reconfigure it as a preparation for the FS weekend in March this year. And there I will take again all my stuff with me and show it, and then it should run all with a new technique. Let's have a look here. B is working. Okay. And next one, 14, A15, hydraulic standby power of A15. Switch over to Prosim and search for standby. No, there, standby low pressure. There it is. We make some configurations in a row and then test it after. I think this will increase our working speed a little bit. A16 hydraulic standby low quantity. Low quantity, there it is. Okay. 17 fuel difference pressure. Nah. Fuel diff pressure. I can't see this. Oh, have we the first thing that has a different name? Fuel pump. Okay, let's just search for fuel. Oh, there are some more. Fuel diff pressure. Let's have a look for just press. That's not enough. Oxygen, pressure, altitude. Oxygen, pro. Where is the fuel pressure? Let's have a look in Prosim directly. Here we are again. Configuration, combine config, and search for fuel. Fuel diff. It's not there anymore. Maybe they have changed the name of this. Let's have a look to the display here. Ah, oh yay. It doesn't called fuel, it's fel. Is it fel? No. Fel with pressure. What have I written down there? feel. Feel? Yes. Oh. Feel diff press. Okay. Now we can change this here in my configuration sheet. Huh. Well, we have found a documentation error, at least. Cool. So what have we in the chat here from Humberto? The second problem was that when it opened in the overhead software, it wouldn't open in the real world. So I adapted a solenoid. Ooh. Wow, this is crazy. So he's still talking about the switch guard with a solenoid. Yeah, this often means different voltages to run these, no? So A17, and finally with a correct name, the feel diff press, and there we have it. Hey. A18, the you can still see it, yeah. Speed trim fail in Prosim. Speed trim fail, there it is. And A19, Mach trim fail. There it is. And okay. And the last LED, A20, auto sled fail. Auto sled fail. And you can, I don't think that this was there before. Now you have here these icons in the new user interface that shows you directly. Here we have LEDs as an output configuration. And hold on, in a moment we will use another new feature of this user interface. And this is really useful. But before we do this, we have a look to the panel and test our configurations here. Prosim displays. So everything is running and we still test. Now, yaw damper is still working. Low pressure A and B, yes, they are working. And from up to down here, there it is working. This works. Working. Check. 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 Woo! So all the LEDs of the flight control panel are finished. Now I show you the new feature first, and you have to look up here in MobiFlight at the top. You can see there are different tabs, and I have created these tabs. You can make your own tabs up there and group configurations in there. And it doesn't matter if these are input or output configurations, you can gather them there in a tab. And that makes it easier for you to find or test configurations. In my case, you can imagine I have a long list of configurations here in my connection sheet. Just have a look down here. I have here at the moment nearly 900 lines, and I think there are even more configurations in here because for some functions I need additional variables and so on. Yeah, so let's say we have around 1000 configuration lines in here. Yeah, and so this can be really hard to find the one configuration that you're looking for. Yeah. And to make this a little bit easier for you, you can group them in those tabs. And I have done this here. The MFD, Mikey's Flight Deck. This is my main configuration where all these configurations are together that are not in any of these other tabs. And these are at the moment still the most configurations. But you can see here the MCP tab with all the MCP configurations, EFIS for the captain and the first officer. There they are. And in my pedestal, when you imagine the pedestal, there are, like on the overhead, there are lines of panels, and I have identified 3 lines of the pedestal, and so I have called it pedestal left, middle and right, and there I have these configurations and the fire panel as an extra tab. Yeah, when you are searching for configurations here, you can first of all use the filter function. For example, here I start typing in C, and this doesn't really make much sense because it is everything is connected to the Arduino C. Let's look in my main configuration here. So A, and you can see it only shows configurations with the letter A in the name. Or when you're searching for a special configuration, A18, there I have it directly, and I don't have to scroll there and search it. I'm still missing the possibility to order them alphabetically. This is gone at the moment, but you can order them manually. So when you take your configuration, then you can drag it up here, for example, or back again, and the program is remembering this state. Yeah, so this is something really cool. The feature, the filters, you can filter more here by the config type, so output and input configurations, by controllers. So I only want to see devices that are connected to the Arduino A, for example. Wow, and I see already he has written the number of devices here that are connected. So 60 configurations are we're concerned to Arduino A. You can filter by devices, so the type of devices, and by names. Okay, for the configuration name, I think this does the same when you insert A here. Yeah. Okay. And so this is a useful feature, just I think interesting for you to know that this is possible. And yeah, why have I shown you this? Because we will create a new tab, of course. So clicking here up on the right, the plus button, add new file. I don't know if he is adding a new file really, internally maybe, but okay. So when we double click up here, then we can give a name, and I call it overhead. What's the short of this? I think something like this. And the forward overhead. Now you can call it the lower or upper overhead, or forward and aft overhead. And this is the forward overhead. I don't know if this is the best option. Maybe you can also make the line way I have done there, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines here in the overhead. I think this can be more complex to find the right tab you are looking for. If I can't work with this really good, then I can change it. No, so but for the moment I will call this the forward overhead, and I bring it Can I move it? Or maybe here, no? Remove, rename. Can't I drag it here? No. No, I can't drag it. I would have expected that I can drag this. No, but I can't. Okay, well, then it stays there. And I can, but at least I can drag the configurations. I mark all my LED configurations here. And let's hope it will work. Click and drag to the overhead. Did this work? No, I think I have clicked while I was dragging them again. Moving them here, and there they are. I made the experience that MobiFlight has a little problem when you are moving too many configurations. I don't know if this is always the case. Sometimes it just turned white and I had to restart it. Yeah, but this worked. So the configurations are in the overhead tab. And now, yeah, I think who wants to configure some buttons now? Buttons, for anyone who has just switched on here, no, what are we doing? This is the flight control panel that we are reconfiguring to the new MobiFlight Prosim connection at the moment. And now we have some buttons to configure. Here, buttons. Let's use the filter function here in the Excel sheet here. And just show buttons. Which buttons are there? I think these here, VHF, IRS, right? No, these are not. Let's have a look to the Prosim displays. Here, something there. Standby, rudders, and so on. Where are they? Here, the alternate flaps. These up down here. Here. These, I think. Let's move this up there. So what do we have here? Here, flight control A and B, genau. On and rud, standby rudders. Yep, these we need. The alternate flaps up and down. This is this button here, and the arm button. Yeah, okay. And down the the spoilers we need. IB and yaw damper. Yeah. Here. So these are the buttons we have to configure now. And these are A21 up to A30. So we can use our filter and say A, or do you names A? Does this make sense? Yes. Also, I can just have to click them then. Okay, no. We use the filter function A. Let's say A2, 21. Yeah, there we start. A21 up to A30. Yeah, the 30 we do at last. Yo. The color stream is writing here. Yeah, Michael, are you going to attend at FS Weekend? Can I come by and say hi? Of course. So, of course, I'm there at the FS Weekend, and of course you can say hi. And this is why I'm doing all the stuff here, I'm preparing my overhead for the FS weekend. So no, everyone who has time, March, what is it? 21 to 22, so where? 21st to 22nd of March. There's the FS weekend in Lelystad in the Netherlands. And no, I think more than 5,000 people are awaited on this weekend, and many people here, professional manufacturers as well as community builders, hardware manufacturers, flight simmers, and so on, are showing their stuff there. This will be a great weekend. And what are you planning to take to the exhibition? The overhead I'm bringing with me, the pedestal, the MIP fully working with all the monitors and so on, and the 2 EFIS panels and the new MCP. So the plan is that I'm rebuilding my MIP stand construction so that I can take it with me and then build up the full front MIP holder with the glare shield on top. And then you can see the MIP, MCP, the 2 EFIS panels, the glare wings built in the glare shield, and yeah, so this is the stuff. And then in front of there will be the pedestal and the overhead on a table beside. Yeah, this will be the setup, I hope. Here, so A21 to 29 buttons. Ladies and gentlemen, we are configuring buttons. This you can see here. We're at the symbol, at the icon, it's a button, and go into the configuration. It differs a little bit from an LED. So we are here in the button configuration menu. Up here, everything is the same. It's the device name stays the same, but the action type is a different one. One step back, what have we to configure here? The on press and on release state of a button. And we are sending a 1 when the button is pressed, and on release we are sending a 0. And at the moment we are sending this via FSUIPC, and now we will use the MobiFlight Prosim connection. Xiaomi, hi, nice to have you here. So we now change the action type from FSUIPC to Prosim. And this time we have the Prosim data directly here. And let's have a look over to my Excel sheet, A21, Flight Control A Standby RUT. This is what we are searching for. Flight Control. There we have it. And now we will have a little bit of diving in here what these descriptions mean. You have seen the LED before I was configuring. There we just have on and off. It's a system byte. It was there, and you just had to click on there and Prosim knew what to do with it. Now it's a little bit different because we have a 3-way switch here. So let's have a look here. I will open this. There you can see it. It's in the, what is it? I think on position. We have a middle position and an up position. Down. So we have 3 positions, and it is written down here. which values Prosim is expecting, so that you can call to Prosim in which position the button is. So in the position off, it expects a 0. Standby RUT, so the upper position, it expects a 1. And in the on position, the down position, it expects a 2. So we have here the configuration flight control A standby RUT. So the upper position. Now let's have here a look to the Prosim displays. This is the upper position, the RUT. So who knows which value we have to send? The 1, right? So we need to send a 1. And now, yeah, and when it goes off, it has to send a 0 because then it goes to the middle, the off position. So we choose this here, the A, and the value is still right. We are sending a 1. We can copy this page here now and paste it into the release page and just change the value to 0, the off position, no? The middle position. And now we can use this site we have copied still here. Go to the A22. This is the flight A control 1 on. So, and we paste it in here because it is the same variable we are using here, but we are using a 2. We remember the 2 was the down position in Prosim. And we go to the on release tab, paste it in, and again inserting a 1, because when it leaves its position, it goes to the middle position. Let's test this. Yeah, we can test this in the display tab, but we have to test it with the hardware. I hope this works. No. It can't work because MobiFlight isn't running. Let's click to run. Why was this off? Have I shut down MobiFlight? Okay. So, hardware test. So I have changed my button to the middle position now. And Umberto here, you have the example, Prosim directly sees, yeah, when I'm changing or switching the button to the middle position, then the cap must be opened through this switch guard here. So it is open. It doesn't matter here for the hardware. So this works. It's in the middle position. Let's switch it to the on position again. Down. Yeah, it is down and the cap is closed. This is what Prosim makes of it. And now the cap isn't closed here on my panel. Of course, it's open, but the switch is in the down position. And now let's go to the up position, the RUT. Works. And now let's close the cap to the on position. Working. So what have we here? From Xiaomi, I believe you have a little error in the drawing for overhead sections. At lighting panel, the middle acrylic landing lights. The lighting panel. And you have to, the middle acrylic landing lights. Yeah, you have you mean do you mean this section here, this light here, or what do you mean? So during this we will make the same configuration here for the next flight control B here, which is A23. Here, by the way, you can't see which is connected with FSUIPC. I don't know why. Or it has to be wider then. Well, let's test this. If it's not wide enough. No, that doesn't matter. Up and here we need it. And this one here. So what has some battery? I used FSX with PMDG and each item had an offset. I haven't used the 2020 version yet, but from what I've seen, they've fixed that detail. And each item had an offset. Yeah, I've never used, so I don't know really PMDG together with Prosim. I have made some tests. Yeah, I know the PMDG variables and events and so on, but I haven't used it with MobiFlight together. Yeah, but maybe they have changed some things there. There are many users out there who are using PMDG together with MobiFlight, because it is cheaper to use this. So camera away. So A23 flight control B, which changed here again to Prosim and flight control B. And again, off is the middle position, RUT up is a 1, and B as on is a 2, the down position. So 22 is a RUT, so we have a 1. We copy this, paste it in here in the on release state, say 0, okay. And the 24 configuration, which is the B on, paste it in, inverting a 2 for the down position, and on release paste in a 0. Make a test here. And I think this is yeah, not well, this means Zufall. It's it directly recognizes that my hardware switch is in the down position, and this is what is shown here in Prosim. Middle position. Yeah, you can see here it is in the middle position, so synchronized, and now up position. There we are. And when I close the cap, the switch goes to the down position, so the on position. Working. And to check if MobiFlight recognizes everything correct, you can see here on the right the A24 is in the press state, so the button is pressed, and the A23 is in the release state. So there you can check if the switch comes in right. Yes, so Humberto, the button wouldn't work unless the guard was opened. Yeah, in the PMDG, you mean, no? Not here in Prosim. So I have in the hardware, no? I had to open the guard, otherwise I can't bring it to the upper position here. No? There is still one switch for the, which is it here? Let's have a look here to the display tab here. Here, this is the emergency light switch. This one is tricky because when you close this guard here, then the switch isn't in the on position, but in the armed position, which is the middle position. So you close the guard and the switch goes to the middle position. And this is really tricky. I think I have to modify the cap a little bit. You can Dremel away a little bit. There are one or two examples are out there in the internet where you can see this, but this is tricky. And I haven't done this until now. No? So when I close my switch guard for this light switch, I just lay it down softly onto the switch in the middle position. Yeah. So let's go on. Some more switches here. A25 alternate flaps arm. This is the red one here. We change it to Prosim. And then alternate. So many alternates. So flaps. Oof. What do we have here? We have two alternate flaps. Off and arm. I think this is the upper one, and the other one is here. Alternate flaps arm. Yes, and up and down. Yeah, this is the control. Yeah, the control one. So now we have the alternate flaps arm, and yes, this is what we are choosing. A 1 in the press state. Copy this and paste it to this side with a 0 for release. We will test this in a moment. We configure this switch too. Alternate flaps control up and down. This is, and let's bring this here a little bit over so you can see this. So this goes to Prosim. Alternate flaps here, and we have, again, like in the other switch before, we have a 3-position switch: up, middle, down. Middle, which is the off position, 0, up is a 1, down is a 2. So now we have up, this is the 1, there we have it. Copy it, paste it, insert a 0 for the middle position when it is released. And the other one, the 27, paste it in. And we use a 2 for the down position, and on release, paste it in and use a 0. Yeah, so fast you can configure this here. Last one, 28. Spoiler, A and B. I have configured the off positions because I have built in the switch so that the on is the upper position, which is the off position in this case here. Let's make this here A28. Go to Prosim and search for spoiler. Spoiler alert. Spoiler A off, and off is the 0. So this time for the on press, we send a 0, and on release, we send the 1 this time. Last one, spoiler B. Spoiler B. Send a 0, copy, paste, send a 1. And let's test it. There we have it. So what do we have to test? Let's start with the spoilers. So we bring it to the up position. There we have it. And spoiler B to the up position. Works. And now down B and A. Works. So the red one to the arm position. There we have it. And we make the alternate flaps up and down. Wow. Okay, what this? Up. It stays in the up position, but down doesn't stay. This is curious. Okay, we will have to look at this. Alternate flaps down. This is A27 here. There's A27. Let's have a look to A27 when it goes to the down position. It stays pressed, but not in Prosim. So you can see in MobiFlight it is pressed, but in Prosim it is in the off position. Let's have a look. Let's check this in Prosim System 2. Where do we find this here? In the, I think, hydraulic? Yeah, here. Alternate flaps are armed and the flight control. No, not flight control. Alternate flaps. Ah, yeah, here. This one. You can see it, no? It's in the off position. Now it's in the up position and stays there. Off and down. Yeah. And here you can see it makes the same behavior. It goes to the down position just a moment and then goes back directly. What's the problem? Let's have a look to the A27. So system, alternate flaps control, value 2. Where's our Prosim list again? And again, we are missing the Prosim list. I think MobiFlight does this. Sometimes we have to switch here to none and then to Prosim again, and then we have the list back here. Let's check the variable again. Alternate flaps control. Off is 0, up is 1, 2 is down. Yeah. And we are sending a 2 for down. And when we are on release, we send the 0. Maybe this is a conflict. This this is a conflict with the other configurations. Let's try. Maybe we have to change the on release state. We make none on release state, because then maybe this can work. I have to try this out. Not really clear what the problem is, but I think the two configurations are interfering each other's. So up, down. No, let's not. Let's take away the on release state from A26. Up, but goes back. This is not the solution. Ooh. Let's see what we can do this here. So what has the chat done at the moment? So Xiamo, landing light, when I tried to cut it with CNC machine, the mini button is very easy to adapt to the guard. Also, the mini button, yeah, okay, that's Umberto. Very too busy everything, but I will picture it and highlights for you and send it to you. Yeah, this would be nice. If there is anything that could be changed, then this can be a good moment, because when you are talking about the light panel in the overhead down there, I have to rebuild it a little bit, because I finally found the APU switch in the right kind as a big switch. These 12mm cutout switches. I found it before just as a small switch, and this doesn't feel really good. And now I have finally found on eBay a bigger switch, and I want to build this in. And to do this, I have to change the cutouts in the light panel. And so it would be a good point to make this. Yeah, so our problem. So let's see. Yeah, what's the problem? It goes to the up position. It says I'm up, and then I'm switching it back. I'm sending a 0. It goes there. I'm sending a 2, but it doesn't stay there. When we change this, so A26 now just has an on press, not an on release. I don't think this is good. And the other one has an on press, yeah, but no on release. I think we will add here an on release, sending a 0. Nah, come on, here. Does this change anything? No. Always with the down. Is there another configuration set in Prosim that is interfering? Everything could be possible. How is it called? Alternate flaps here in the hydraulic. No switch is assigned to anything. No, so there is nothing interfering. Sure. Does anyone has a suggestion what could be the problem here?
if we can't solve this, then I have to write this down, that this isn't working, and I have to think a little bit more about this problem. But sometimes it's so easy. Up, middle, down. Let's try to disable the 26 configuration and just test the A27 connection alone. Or maybe we have inserted, maybe we have inserted a wrong Prosim variable here in these here. So maybe spoiler, okay. Spoiler B, no, this is right. Could have been the problem. Okay. So 27 alternate flaps, now down and alternate flap control and 0. So now I have only activated the 27. So the up does nothing, and down still only going short down there. Whew. This is crazy. This is really crazy. At the moment, I have no idea why this is happening. Okay. I will make the 26 configuration like before. Okay. And make a note for me, a 29, no, not 29, 27. Yeah. Down isn't working. So, okay, but so that we can move on here now. And we transfer A21 to 29 now to our new overhead tab. Bam. No, there they are now. By the way, when you are missing all the LEDs that we have made here, you see only one. This is because we have still activated our filter. When we delete this, there are all the other LEDs that we have done before. Oh. So what we are, the camera away. So what we are making now, the last one, no, also 29, 30. Yeah, only the A30, where it is, A30, there we have it. We can transfer it directly to the new tab. Bam. There it is. And we reconfiguring it to Prosim. And you can see the yaw damper. This is what we are looking for. Yaw damper. And we are configuring the on state. And on is the 1, like most switches. On, and here copy, paste it into the release state with a 0. Here it's very often the same work on and on again. Let's make a test here. The yaw damper switch. Come on, there it is. Where's the display? And you can see it is in the off state at the moment, not in the on state. Let's stop MobiFlight and make it on again. What is it doing? I think we, synchronizing this will be interesting, because here you can see the flight control B. It says it's in the middle position, but it isn't. Cap is closed. Now it's synchronized. Oh, I will have a look on this. So, and this one close. Yo. And now my jaw damper is in the on position. Maybe, let's see, when we bring it to the off and on. Okay. Okay, and I know. Oh, and I have a feeling what could be the problem here now. The yaw damper switch. This is a switch that can be operated by the plane, like the auto throttle switch. So it can fall back, I think, to the off position. I wanted to build this the same way like I've done this with the auto throttle switch in my MCP. And I think there is a gate or something like this in Prosim. Let's have a look here. Configuration, combine config tab, searching for yaw. There, in the Michelangelos tab, a gate. Here, jaw damper hold actuator. This is the value that, or the variable that says if the yaw damper switch should be hold in its position. And I think this is off the whole time. You can also configure it the other way around. The yaw damper off actuator for people who have a simulator that is pulling the yaw damper to the off, the off state. And this should be on then, because the switch is pulled to the off switch. I think this is the value that I would use too later, so that the servo motor gets a signal when it should bring the switch to the off position. Maybe this is on all the time, so that says that the switch should be off. We can make a test for this. Yaw damper off actuator. This can be funny now. Let's test this in MobiFlight. In our tab, we make a new output configuration, a Prosim configuration, and search for yaw damper the hold, the off actuator. So let's see which value we have here. A 0. When the switch goes on. Have you seen this? Yes, that's it. Here for a short moment it goes to a 1. So I bring it to on again. Yeah, I think that is exactly the behavior. When I'm bringing the switch to on, the plane isn't in the state that the yaw damper could be on. I'm not in this topic too deep at the moment. There have to be some configs set, however, that this switch can be on. And the plane knows the switch must be off in the moment. And then the off actuator goes on for a moment so that the switch goes to its off state. So this is, we can't switch the yaw damper on at the moment. So if we could bring the plane to a state where this could be on, then it would stay on. Okay, now let's here delete this configuration again and save it. So beside this, and why am I talking about this topic here now? This up-down switch. Maybe I have to read about this. Maybe this is the same behavior here at the up and down, that this can't be in the down position. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm only estimating. I have noted this here in my document, and I will have to look about this later. So, Umberto, toggle or rocker switch? Oof. One moment, what is the difference? What is the rocker and toggle switch? Yeah. Here. Oh yeah, camera off. Here you can see this. There. Such a switch here. No, I don't know. It's a switch. For me, it's a switch. I don't know really what is the difference between toggle and what is this? Rocker switch. I have heard this name. Rocker switch. It's the same, no? I don't know if there is a difference. No? Ah, rocker here, no. This. So I think no, you mean a toggle switch. This switch here, a switch like this, no, is what I'm using for the APU start switch in the future. It's an what is it? An on, off, momentary on switch. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, next panel. Some more buttons and a rotary button. This will be fun. So let's move this up here and make it like this. A little bit. Yeah, okay, I think there. This panel, and now let's bring the camera to the correct position. So there we have it. There's the panel. So what has the matter with that? I made a fix by changing it, even though it's a physical lure button, but in MobiFlight I put it with a toggle to solve this problem. Okay, yeah. We just have to be creative. So this time configuring live, next time soldering live, huh? How much better it can be watching me soldering for 2 hours a PCB. So yeah, which switches do we have here? VHF here, up here. VHF 1, 2, left, right, yeah. FMC left, right, yeah. And display source, there we have it. The 3 and the display vendors. Yeah, these are these here, A01 to A11. These are the switches we need. A01 to A11. Let's filter to A. I want to have this all sorting function. Let's search for A0. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where are the other A's? A06, not here. Uh-oh. Have I named this A6? No. No, I haven't done. Okay. Where is this configuration? I haven't moved it to here. Did I delete it? A06. Oh, now we need a search function over all tabs. Oh, well, this is something I have to ask Sebastian for. No A06. And these are yellow. What does this mean, these are yellow? Haven't I done these? Yeah, it seems like. What was the problem? Have I written down something? No. 01 to 06. Okay, let's make this configuration anyway and see if this is working. Okay. So which configuration we have moved at the moment? A0. Did we move any configurations? Here. 7 to 9. Okay, these go over to our overhead already. So 7 up to 9. And then we need 10 and 11. Okay. MFD 10. Here, 10 and 11. These will also go to the new tab. So 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Wow, what's this 30 here always? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's start with the configurations that are there already and then make the other ones, the missing ones. A7. So here we are searching for the display source auto. This is, it's already the rotary, not encoder, the rotary switch. And there we will see a little different configuring method that differs from these on-off switches, for example. So we change it. So the on-press state, we change to Prosim and then display source. So display source auto. 0 is auto, all on is 1, all and 2 all on is 2. Okay, yeah, this makes sense here. So all on 1 is 1, also 1, 0 and 2. Okay. Now we are configuring the auto, and auto is at 0. And we don't configure an on-release state. We copy this, go to the next configuration, the A08, pasting it in. A08 is the all-on-one, and we know so paste it in, where it is. Oh, it hasn't taken the data ref. Oh, it has lost it. Whew. Okay, switch to none, switch to Prosim again. Display source. So, yeah, it is important that up here in the data ref field, there is a value inserted. So again, copy. Yeah, okay. Paste. Yeah, here now we have the source. And now 08, we are configuring the display all on one. This is the one value. We don't want to have an on release state. And the 09 is the display here, the display source 2. We paste it in again, and the value is the 2. And again, no on release state. Let's test this. Yeah, camera on. Prosim displays is there. The switch is in the auto position at the moment, and let's test it. 2 on. Bam. And auto and on 2. Working. And this is something I thought this could have been the problem before, no? When you remember this flaps switch, that this configuration of a 3-way switch didn't need an on release state, but no, I don't think so. Yeah, what is the situation here? This rotary switch always has one position that is activated. All on, source auto, or on 2. And all these 3 positions of the hardware switches are connected with a cable to the Arduino. When we have, like in the panel before, a three-way switch, no? These are 3-way switches, and I have always connected only 2 of them. No? It is an on-off on switch, and only the 2 on sections are connected with a cable here. And yeah, maybe this is the problem, but we will see. When we now have the same problem here at all the switches here again, then I have to rethink the cabling. But I don't hope that this will be a problem here. Yeah. So VHF nav. Let's make a configuration completely from the beginning. So up here, VHF nav both on. A01. Let's make a configuration. It is an input configuration because we have a switch here. So now, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who hasn't seen making a MobiFlight configuration with Prosim until now, then now it's your time that we are making this really step by step. Have I configured the device already? Let's check this here. Arduino A. Oh, wow. Oh yes, there it is here. A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are there, and the fact that they are down here in the list let's estimate me that I have why ever configured them really late. So A1 is connected to pin 23. That's right. The 2, 24, and then here 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, and the 31 pin. Okay, so the devices, MobiFlight knows the device is a switch and to which pin it is connected. This is okay, it's there. So let's rename this configuration A01. Bam. And move it up and configure it. So choose an input module. The module is the Arduino A. The device is the A01 device. It knows it is a switch, so we are here now in the switch configuration. On press, we want to use Prosim again. VHF. No, now we search for the Prosim name. VHF, nav both on, 1. Now maybe there's not the 1, but yeah, you will see. VHF, nav. There we have it. And we have the 0 for normal, so the middle position. 1, the left position is 1, and both on 2 is the right position is a 2. So we are configuring 1, the left position. This is 1. So click here, and then insert the value 1. And now we are here again. Do we need a release date? I would say yes, because we don't have a signal. So an on signal that this switch is in the middle position. Yeah, maybe this, let's see if this will work. So copy and paste it into the release date, and there we will send a 0 for normal. So now, new input configuration. This is said that I can't name them already here in this window here. I would like to name it directly A02, but I can't. So I have to remember this when we are done, or I have to leave this configuration now, give it a name, and enter the configuring mode again. So Arduino A. A2 is a device. I paste in the MobiFlight variable. Now we are configuring here the both on 2 state, and we are sending a 2. And we are configuring a release state, which also sends a 0. Now I'm really excited how this comes out. Renaming the configuration A02. Let's move it up there and test this. Camera. There we are. The upper left button. There. Left. Middle. And 2. Okay, this is working. So the flaps button seems to be really a different, unique problem. Okay, let's ask a real Boeing pilot about this. So if there is a Boeing pilot out there and knows why the alternate flaps button doesn't stay in the, what is it? The down position, write me. Okay, but this works. More configurations. 3 and 4 for this here. The configuration 3 there and 4 for the IRS button. Let's test something else. Delete. We copy this here. The A2 can we duplicate? Rename it. A3 has the advantage that it is directly at the position I want to have it. Go in, and now we have here the problem again. The action type is on Prosim, that's right, but we don't have the filled list here. This is a bug here still in MobiFlight. Just change the action type from to none and then back to Prosim. And yeah, and there we have again the filled list. So and now we are searching for IRS. There. IRS, both on is 1 and 2, no, for the right side. This is exactly like the switch before. So we are choosing a 1 here. For release date, we take the 0. Duplicate this. Can we do it with a right click too? No, we can't. Why? A right click would be cool here, with the same menu like we have in the right there. Sebastian is, I hope Sebastian is sitting here with a notepad already and writing down my suggestions. So 04, here, this is still right. We use the 2 value and 0. But we have to change. We have forgotten this. This must be here. The device has to be changed. Yeah, 4, and at the 3, the device must be the 03. These are the typical situations where you can make and where I make mistakes. So last button configuration 5 and 6. Let's duplicate this here again. 5. Going into the configuration. What was this? 5. So changing it to Prosim. So, and now we are making here the FMC and see both. There we have it. And this is the 05 device and a 1 for both on L. Copy. We don't. Yeah. We have to change it again. Yeah, the FMC. FMC both. So, yeah, there we have it. For 1, and the release date is a 0. Okay. And duplicating this a last time. What have I done? Click too long, duplicate. So 06, editing, 06, bringing, oh no, we can paste this in here, the FMC, and using the 2, no, because now it's on the right, and release date, the 0. let's do the control panel as the last item here. No, or is it? Yeah, no, control panel, where it is, A10 and A11. And these we have here already. There. A10, switch it to Prosim and searching for display control panel. Display control panel. Yeah, same thing as before. We have the 1, 0, and 11, paste it in, 2, and paste it in, 0. Okay, let's test this. Camera, it's here, and yeah, we start down with the control panel. Yeah. Left, middle, and right. Yeah, it is working. Up here. Right, middle, left. Oh, there we have a. They both go to the same direction. We have to check this. Iris, 03 and 04. This is the reason why we check this. 4. The 4 is the right state. There should be a 2 and a 0. This is right. And the 3 should have a 1 and a 0. Let's test it again. Left, yeah, and right. This is working. Yes, we have it. Ooh. Panel number 2. So what have we learned now already? We have configured LEDs, on-off switches, on-off-on switches, and a rotary switch. Ooh. Now. The fuel panel. There we are. There we are, the fuel panel. Well, yeah, I think this will be the last panel for this evening, I think. Yeah, because you can't learn more by seeing me configuring hundreds of buttons. It's nice that you have the chance to ask questions about this. What are we examining? I think when you run APU, you should run the switch. Okay. Yep. Okay, yeah, we have this here. Yeah, okay, but what I have also haven't done or until now, we have here a servo motor to control a display, the fuel temperature. And I haven't done this until now with this new technique. Let's test this out shortly, and yeah, maybe this will work. How have I done this before? Let's stop this here and go to Prosim configuration. In the combined config tab, how is this called? So this must be a servo motor. Servo. Fuel temperature. Here, D26. This is called fuel temperature in Prosim. Let's search for fuel temp. Yeah. At the moment, I had inserted here an FSUIPC offset and then controlled with the sliders here that the servo motor comes in this position, controlling the needle, that the needle is always at these key positions, I would call it. 0, -40, -56, and the same +40, +56. Yeah. Now, I don't know. Let's see how this works now. We go to the configuration in MobiFlight first. So where do we have it? Fuel temperature D26. Let's search this here, D26 in the MFD there, and we bring it over to our overhead tab. So there we have it. It shows it is a servo motor, okay. And let's have a look into this configuration. There is the FSUIPC offset at the moment. We don't do any modification with it. And the display is here. So the display isn't a display, it's a servo motor from 0 to 255. So this is all a byte could give us. Yeah, and then it can rotate the maximum of 100%, which is 180 degrees for a servo motor. Well, let's have a look. Sim variable. Let's change this to Prosim and insert fuel temperature. So, fuel temperature, a system double. Nothing is said about this here. Okay. It is configured, yeah. We will have to look at the values that Prosim is, the values that are coming from Prosim at the moment. Yeah, let's go to that display and say run here. And go also to Prosim. So is this correct? Yeah, this should be here. Let's maybe put the plane right really in the flight simulator. So we choose the Prosim plane. Yep. And yeah, of course, no. Where do we place this plane? In Hanover? You know, woo. There's something going on here at the moment today. Okay, but we don't care. There's our plane. Start. And maybe then we get a real fuel temperature. And then we have a look to into Prosim, which values are there for the fuel temperature, and maybe we get an idea what we can do with it then. So it needs a little bit to load this. There we are. No, we don't need a GSX. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, simulator is running in the background. Prosim. What does Prosim give us for the fuel temperature? Fuel. Where is fuel? Here. Fuel temperature. Power on. Minus 56. So it's right. It's down here at this position. Minus 56. So, and how is this value? Have a look here. There it comes. There it is. Minus 56 is shown here in this variable. Okay. So now we have to transform the value or make at least something out of this minus 56. Okay. Switch the camera on and make a good view here. So I can't bring this any deeper here. It's not, I think you can hardly see it, no? So let's try to move the needle at least. We go to the display and making a test. Minus 56 to... let's see. Maybe we can do this. So let's give in 50 and test. As you can see, you see nothing. Okay. Different. We stop this. We stop MobiFlight. Go into the configuration and enter the next value. Again, 50. Test. Is this motor working? So what have you here? Color scheme. I have to get along with stepper motors finally, but I'm actually in A23X, so there is not much opportunity to do so. But right, stepper motors. I want to switch to the stepper motors. I have used stepper motors in the MIP and never looking back to servo motors for displays. No? With servo motors, you have, for all others here, no? Servo motors, you have 0 to 180 degrees in most servo motors. And with these degrees you have to match to the degrees your gauge needs. And as they are louder mostly during the use, and most of the times not really fine, and especially if you want to use cheap ones. And the stepper motor can go all the way around, 360 degrees, round and round and round. Stepper motors, these are the motors that are also used in 3D printers, in CNC routers and so on. The advantage of servo motors is that they have a clear start or a zero position. Nice. It's now GSX is calling to me. Shut up. You have a zero position. A stepper motor most of the times doesn't have this. You have to add an additional switch that the stepper motor is reaching, so that the system knows, there at this position, there's my 0 point. And this makes it a little bit, I think, more complicated to insert stepper motors in your systems. For example, when you think of 3D printers, they drive to a 0 point, a homing position, where they touch or come in feel with some kind of switch, and then the stepper motor knows what the 0 position is. Yeah, and these switches I have also implemented into my last gauges. Yeah, when you have found your way to do it, then you can repeat this. But yeah, the stepper motors can be run really fine with small fine steps, and also be deactivated when they have reached their position, so then they are quiet, and also during the run they are quieter. So, and the matching of the degrees 108 for a servo motor to your gauge must be done most of the times with gears. And so you have to come out with some system where the gear of your stepper motor transfers the force to another gear of the needle, and this shaft needs to be stiff. Yeah, these are other things you have to deal with when you are using servo motors. No, but back to our current servo motor here. I really can't find out if it is working anyway. It doesn't do nothing. Let's find a motor that is working. Maybe the APU motor. Here, the D50. Let's try this. I changed the camera. Oof. This is even more harder to see. Yeah. So let's try this. So here you can see this. Yeah, you can see this. So you can see the device there, the needle, and let's try to move it. D50 in my configuration. First of all, we have to find the Prosim variable, Prosim, but it should just be called APU. Oof. No, obviously not. Let's have a look to Prosim. Configuration. Combine config tab and search for APU. Pneumatic. No, that's a switch. Here, electric. Gauge. Right, it's called APU. Okay. APU. Switch, no. Bottle indicator, no. APU numerical. Maybe. The last one was also a double. Overspeed. Here. Down here. APU. Gauge. Okay. We don't have any modification here. And display looks like the other one. Yeah, APU. Okay. Let's give in a test value. 50. Test. Ha! Oh, it's working. So yeah, I have a different problem. So maybe there's something with the electrical wrong at my fuel temperature gauge. So cool. This is working. 100. Zoom. Yeah, this always works like a charm. But it's also a servo motor. So stop. Bop. Away. So what have we to do now? Yeah, it's really hard to see for you. But we have to find a way or we have to search the values that the values from Prosim meet the numbers of the APU. So okay. So with which value we start? The zero position. Can we? Yeah, let's find out the. Yeah, what can we do? Can we start the APU and have a look which values come in there from Prosim? Maybe. Let's have a look to the display. We can't start the APU because our plane isn't configured right, I think. This could be a hard test now. We can't give in test values, I think, here. Yeah, maybe this is too hard here to make this live now when I haven't thought about more about this. So we need our plane in a condition that we can start the APU, because we can't set this value here to a special value, this gauge here to a special value, I think. Let's have a look here to the electric center APU. Yeah. Here, APU numerical. Yeah, I think this is right. The 0, no? And any more APU? No. Yeah, a 0. Yeah, what values will come there? 0 point something or something like this. Maybe we can try to bring Prosim, the plane into this state. This would be nice. I'm starting the instructor station from Prosim now, so maybe we can come to the situation that we have the plane with ground power, and then we can use it, and then we can start the APU maybe somehow. Or can we use this start switch directly? Nah. So where we can make the ground power? Here. So now we have ground power available. And not this one. I can't click. Yeah. Okay. Ground power. On. No lights on. Is this a good sign? Mostly. Can we start the APU? Hold. We have to hold it. Oh, okay. Start. This looks good. Okay. I bring this out of our way here. Let's have a look to the here. It's moving. Oh, cool. APU, where it is? APU here, numerical. Aha. Okay, these are by 100. 600 and so on. Now, and it goes to 500, I think, something. Yeah, here. Okay. So the 0 is 0, the 2 would be 200, and so on. The 4 is 400. Okay, here, and now the APU is running. Okay, so now we have an idea of how the values are to take. So when we connect this here and say run, yeah, okay, then you can see we have these values here at our Arduino. So we now have to find out which value we have to give to the servo motor to be 0 and which we have to give to the servo motor to reach 10. Yeah, and then we have to match these values to 0 to 1000 of the values that could come from the APU. I hope you can follow me along during my thinking. Yes. Let's stop this. So, and now it's, yeah, then it's now testing the values to reach the 0 position. You can see 100 is too much. 50, still too much. 30. Oh, nearly, I have to look. Yeah. Meets it perfectly. So a value of 30. Yeah, when we give a min value of 0, maximum value of 255. Yeah, is this good? Oh, we have someone in the chat here. Salutation. Hi, Michael. Greetings from Marcy from the MobiFlight event. Hey, Marthy. Hello. Nice to have you here. Finally, someone I hope who knows who use the new MobiFlight interface here. Yeah, we are configuring at the moment the APU gauge, or trying it. Everything works well, yes. It's I'm setting up the new my overhead, the configuration of the overhead to the new MobiFlight and Prosim connection here, and to make it ready to use for the FS weekend. And again, FS weekend, we have our stand directly side by side. So everyone who is looking here, come to the community corner, the so-called community corner, and there you find MobiFlight and Mikey's Flightdeck side by side, so you can watch the Technic and see the Technic directly used in a cockpit. So 30. So 30 is the 0 position. And now let's see which is the 10 position. 150 maybe? No, we need more. 200? I will have a look. A little bit more. 210 maybe? Yes. Yes, that's working. So from 30 to 210. I think we can modify this. A transformation, maybe? Nah. I'll have we here? Comparison. What do we have more? Modifiers, compare, interpolation maybe. This could be something we could use. Input value. So we get from Prosim a 0. This will be mapped to 30. Now, because we have seen 30 as a value for our gauge meets the 0. And then our input value of 1000, this will be matched to 210. No, because this meets the 10. Maybe this can already work. Say okay. So if this works, you can see we have here a value from something 300 and a little bit. And when we click run, then our gauge should go to this position. Wow, this is working. It's so cool. This is so cool. Yeah, so 355. Let's show it you more in detail. And now we have it. Where we have it. Now where is it? There. And we are there where we want to be. This is cool. So you see, you need to think a little bit what you want to reach, no? and how the computer can reach it for you. Woo! It's pretty accurate. More accurate than the real AC sometimes, I guess. Yes. Whew. Yeah, cool. So when we shut the APU off, then it should go down the value, and so should our gauge do. I don't know how fast this will work now. Yeah, maybe we can't wait for this. But I said no, we want to go through the last panel here, the fuel panel now. And yeah, you can keep an eye on this gauge. I leave it open here, I think, and then you can compare what this does to the things you can see on the camera. Yeah, where do I move the camera now? Oh, it goes back faster. Here. You can see it. Oh, this was fast now at the end. It goes to 0 and the software is in 0 and our gauge is exactly on the 0 position. Strike. So this works like a charm. Cool. Yeah, accurate. So the APU gauge was the gauge I'm always using when I want to show the audience that the overhead is really working. So yeah, good gauge. Yeah. Now, we have set the electric behind the fuel panel gauge here. I have to check. This doesn't seem to work right, but we now make the configuration of the rest, and then you have I allow you to go to bed or make something what you ever have to do. How much time is it at your position at the moment? So let's make this a little bit smaller here. and switch off the camera. So the fuel panel. What do we have here? So, remove the filter here. Fuel panel. What do we need? Crossfeed, filter bypass, and so on. Let's have a look. Here. Yeah, this looks like the beginning. Outflow valve position, filter bypass, crossfeed, and so on from A69, I think. Outflow valve position. I don't know what this. This belongs to the another panel here. I think here it starts engine valve closed, goes down to the fuel pumps up to here. So yeah, let's move all the stuff over to the new segment. So yeah, outflow valve is something different. Yeah, it belongs to the cabin pressurization panel, I think. So, yes, a live show at the expedition. Yes, of course. So you can always come here to my stand at the exhibition, and we can test different things out. No problem. So D1 up to D26. So let's filter this here. And again, this ordering. Okay. So these all have to go over. Let's stop this for the moment here. And D20. 21 for yes. Where's the 26? I haven't seen this until now. Okay. D26 isn't here. Okay, let's filter again. D, anything there? Oof. D19, yeah. So this is the last one. Come over here. Zack. So over at D26, are you here? Yes. Okay. So let's keep the filter here at D. Oof. Yeah, now I think, yeah, I know how MobiFlight wants to do it here. It wants to group, maybe, I don't know, maybe group all the devices by their type, no? Buttons, LEDs, and a servo motor. I want to order them by name so that I can compare them here to my configuration sheet. Yeah, but different users have different expectations for the software here. So, but let's start with the D01 engine valve closed. D01, there it is, an LED, and reconfigure it for the use of Prosim. Such a hard work. Yeah, it is. Dirty work, no automatization here, no? So what have we here? We just ask Sebastian to let the user choose what order is used, name or input, etc. Yeah, Yeah, I think this to come back to this ordering, there are some problems, no? Because you can, I have shown this before, now you can move this here by hand, which is great, no? Because sometimes you want to have some configurations side by side, no? And so on. So like I'm doing it. It is a little bit, if you know this Adobe Bridge, which is a program for as a picture presenter, no? A picture program, and you can order your picture to make a slideshow, and normally the pictures come like the names are alphabetically sorted, no? And then you can sort them around, and it is doing a little configuration file so that it is remembering how the user has manually sorted the pictures. And so you know from other programs these triangles here, when you can click there or there, and you can order them alphabetically up or down, no? Forward or reversed. But how would you come back, no? To the manual sorting of the user? Then there must be something, a checkbox, something like this, that you can switch back to the manually sort of the user. So when I click here, it would order them 01, 02, and so on. But if I, for any reason, want to have this 02 in the middle, then I must have an option to reactivate the state that the 02 is in the middle where I have put it. I hope you get the idea. Yes. Okay. So back to our. That's what I meant, but yeah, to add a button should be possible, I guess. Yeah. Good. Okay. So anyone who has watched this is how fast you can fast you can communicate with MobiFlight, or at least how near MobiFlight is at their users. But the more users are there, the more wishes are there, and you can't satisfy every wish of every user here. There must be a good value for a good number of users at least. So my 01 at the end, going to Prosim, and we are searching for engine valve closed left. Engine valve closed left. There we have it. And we are back at LEDs. This is so simple. Let's just clicking here and configuration checked. Number 2, engine valve closed left bright. So this is my brighter state. Engine valve. Oh, doesn't it have an engine value bright? Whew. Doesn't seem so. The engine valve closed left bright is a name I have got by Prosim. Where is it now? Go to Prosim configuration, combined config. Well, good that I'm starting in January with this reconfiguring. This isn't done at a day. So engine valve. Let's have a look. Fuel. It is a gate. Oh, okay. So these, let's describe what I mean here. Back to the fuel panel. Yeah. So these blue lights that you can see there have two states, a normal mode and a bright mode. And I have implemented this with a blue LED and a white LED that can go on in addition, and then it looks brighter. Yeah. So, and the blue light is a normal indicator here, but the bright mode seems to be a gate. Okay. So, but where is this gate? Engine valve closed L bright. So where is this gate in MobiFlight? It isn't there, no? Yeah, this is something, yeah, I have to ask in the MobiFlight Discord. I think we have engine valve closed L and right, but the two gates, the bright modes aren't there. Yo, let's get out my notepad and write it down. So engine valve closed right, not in MobiFlight. Okay, and this will be, if it's not there always, then this is a problem because we have some bright indicator lights here all over the overhead. So whatever here, cell navigation. Is your overhead also built that you can push the buttons in to test them? My work with Prosim is so far away in my head. What was the difference between an indicator and a gate? Honestly, I really don't know. I think in different simulators it is made differently. A gate, I think I'm imagine more like what is it called in the electrics? A relay, no? That you can with a small amount of power you can switch on a component that needs a big amount of power, no? And I think it's something like this in Prosim. There are different devices that are simulated as a gate, or sometimes there is a normal version and a gate version, so that different simulators can use Prosim depending on their hardware, what they have there. Yeah, we had this before here with the yaw damper. And the yaw damper has a gate here in MobiFlight. When we look for the yaw, here, where was it? Yaw damper hold actuator here. The yaw damper hold actuator, for example, this is a gate. So systems, gates, there they are. But in our case, the valve, let's search only for valve. We have a gauge, but not a gate. I don't see any gates. Maybe they aren't read out here by MobiFlight. Tja. Okay, so, but yeah, then we have to let this unconfigured. D03, there we have it. So switch off the camera and D03. Engine valve closed right. Prosim. Engine valve closed right. There it is. Bam, configured. The 04 we leave again unconfigured because we don't have a gate. And 5. There we have a 5. Spar valve closed. Left. There it is. Bam. 6 again, unconfigured. 7. Prosim. Spar valve closed right. 8, 8, 8, 8. 8. Oh no, 8 is. Oh yeah, now I have made a mistake. Not the A8, but the D8. Oh, I should filter this here. D08. There it is. Super. And now 9. D09. Here we have a 9 and 10. So 09 is the crossfeed indicator of Prosim. Crossfeed indicator. There it is. Bam. 10 unconfigured. Yeah, you can still follow me here. And I bring this up here. 11. So now we come to some lights that we can test. Oh, by the way, we can test these here. Switching on this in camera. Click on run. And you can see the 2 blue lights are already on, no? Because they are here on. And the question here, is your overhead also built that you can push the buttons to test them? No, it isn't. I haven't made them. These are only LEDs inside a plastic box. There is no click here mechanism, a button inside. No. Carl here from Helimac has designed his indicators that they can be tested, but then you need to build in a little bit more complex design and more hardware and cables, of course. So and I have let this out here, in my overhead. Yeah, if it is necessary, it could be fine that you can sit later in your cockpit and click directly, see if the hardware is working. But at the end, in a simulator, I think there is still the possibility that some configuration is wrong, and this is the reason why your LED isn't on at this moment. So you can't trust this 100%, I think. Or you have to design it that you give a voltage in there, and the LED must be on at any reason, because when you click it, it goes completely outside of the configuration. I think I don't know really how Carl has done this in his simulator, no? But yeah, I have made the cheap way. In the Airbus, we have a light test buttons for all buttons. Yeah, of course. I also use the lights test button to switch on all my lights on an exhibition. It is the audience call button, I think. So every time when a group of people is coming, then really nice. We were here in Hanover at the Maker Fair, a big exhibition with 19,000 people last year were there. And so there are makers and not flight simulators there, no? So hobbyists of 3D printing, electronics, and so on. And my daughter was there with me. And no, always when a group of people came, I said to her, switch on the light test button. And then this whole overhead and MIP was lighted like a Christmas tree. And then the people, oh, a light is on. Hey, we have to go there and have a look. What is there? So this is really cool. So the light test button is the audience magnet. Yeah, so test some more. Here we have, here, now you can see, it goes on there, and test this, working. This one working. And this is the last, the last blue one we have configured here. Yeah. So let's go down to the yellow LEDs here from D11. D11, 10, 11, 12, have we here, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We can move them all together. This is possible too. Zip. Yeah. 20, 21, 3, 5, 6. Yo. Okay, from 11, there we are. It is called Filter Bypass L from Prosim. Bypass L. Zack. Filter bypass right. Bypass. Bypass right. Bam. 13. Fuel center left. Left LP. Yeah, that's it. Fuel center right LP. Boah, how long will this take to reconfigure this overhead? Whoa. There are some evenings to follow. Fuel left aft. Fuel left aft. Damn. Fuel left forward. Fuel left forward. There. 17. Fuel right forward. There. And 18. Fuel right aft. Damn. Okay. And you see, I'm still running the connection between MobiFlight and Prosim. And so we are configuring this here on the fly. Yeah. Let's see. Can we move up the camera a little bit more down here so that you can see it. More. So, like this. Yeah, move it a little bit up here. So, like this. Okay, and now test this. Filter. Yeah, working. This is working. 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 Yes, yes, working. So, and when this test works, so that I'm clicking here on the displays tab and my hardware LED is going on, then you can be sure that when the simulator runs and somewhere a light goes on, then your hardware light will go on too. So there can't be any other thing that can be configured wrong, that in a situation where a light should be on, your light is then off. This can't be. Yeah, so we have the blue lights, except of the bright state. The gauge, I have to check if something is wrong with the servo motor. The orange lights are working, and now the switches are missing. So the switches here. Crossfeed. Yeah, the crossfeed is a little bit difficult because I don't have a really 90-degree switch here. I have faked this a little bit. We start with these other switches first here. So fuel pumps. These here. From D20 to D25. So down here, D20, and we only have on-off switches. So Prosim, we start with the fuel center left on, fuel center left, and you can see again here, on is the 1 state. Copy this to the release state and insert a 0. Finished. 21. Fuel center right on. Center right. There. Copy. Paste. 0. Finished. And 22, fuel left aft, fuel left aft, there, copy, paste, bam. 23, fuel left forward, there it is, copy, paste, 0. 24, fuel right forward, fuel right forward, there, copy, paste, 0. 25. Prosim. 25. Here is a fuel right aft. Fuel right aft. There. Copy. Paste. And then we make. Oh, we have them made them to 25. Yep, make a test. Have a look to Prosim displays. All switches are in the on position at the moment. Not like here in my hardware. You can see these here. These are in the upper position. Maybe this can synchronize when we stop this. Let's see if the if MobiFlight synchronizes automatically. There is an option, I think, here in the settings and run options, automatically perform retrigger action with run mode. So this says that when you click run in MobiFlight and start the not the software, the synchronization mode, I call this, then it gives a signal to Prosim or to the simulator how the switches should be. And this was always a problem, no? With FSUIPC. What I said at the beginning, with a long string, that a long data package that was sent and I think was too long to come on there in one piece. So let's click on run. But you see, no, not but here, nothing but. The two switches are correct. Have you followed this? Are they in the correct mode now? I will stop. Okay. I make them in the on, to the on position. Let's test this again. My switches are in the up position and let's start run. Okay, cool. Very cool. Yeah, you have seen the switches are flipped to the up position and are correct. Cool. So tell me, it's getting late. I will continue to see the clip later and I hope to you good expedition. Yes. And we are nearly at the end. Yeah. This will come to a good end, I think. So let's test this now. When I bring the switches down, then they go to the correct position and the other switches to the up position. Yeah, and you can see what I have said. The lights are also going on my hardware. I switched them now to on again, also the down position. And it's reacting synchronized with the display panel. Now the last button, the crossfeed button. Yeah, it's an 8-position switch. Yeah, an 8-position switch. So where do we have the crossfeed button? There, here, the D19. Crossfeed on. Let's see. So Prosim, crossfeed, okay. Let's see here for crossfeed on off. Let's make it just like this, on and no, that is a yeah, okay, crossfeed on. Is this correct? This isn't a button, huh? No, this is this is the wrong configuration. D09. Nope. 09 is a crossfeed indicator. Oh. Crossfeed indicator. So the crossfeed button is here, the 19. Prosim crossfeed on, copy, release, paste in off. Maybe I have somehow done this electrically. So let's just test this. Camera here, there. You see my hardware switch is horizontal, and the other one here in the software is vertical. Let's stop and see if it synchronizes. No. Oh, this is, oh, okay, you can't see this. This is a strange behavior. Maybe this is an electrical problem here on my side. Now you see it's horizontal and now it's off. And this is also crazy. No, the light, the blue light here is correct. Yeah, this I will check here separately, because this is a really weird construction here with an simulating a 4-position switch with an 8-position switch. I have to make this somehow electrically, that I shorten together 2 pins of this switch, and they both send the same signal. So the 45 degrees and the 0 degrees, you know what I mean. Or I have to do this somehow in the configuration here, but yeah, I will check this again and find a way. Maybe the knob is wrong here on my hardware panel, but I think this is solvable. Yes. So coming back, some last words here now for this evening. It's so damn satisfying when you press a button and it just does what it's supposed to, and when a light even turns on. Is this crazy? And this and this exactly is what where no one understands you. So often we have this situation when I come to my wife and say, hey, you have to look here at this button. Look, I'm turning this button on, and this button is going on in the simulator, and look here, a light is going on, and you are earning a wow. Cool. You know what I mean. I think only nerds like us know what I mean. Crazy. Yeah. And yeah, someone who isn't a nerd like us here now has watched the stream and maybe thinking, wow, he has configured 2 hands full of buttons now and some lights. Cool. Yeah, and we nerds now, we say, but these are really cool buttons. And have you seen the technique he is using with MobiFlight and Prosim? And don't forget, he has configured a gauge on top, and this gauge is working exactly how it should be. So this was really cool. So all in all, this working stream was very satisfying, at least for me. Yeah, and I hope I could show you how easy and relatively fast the configuration here between MobiFlight and Prosim is going at the moment. And yeah, it is working. So I have to take some homeworks with me, have a little talk again with the MobiFlight Discord channel to find out some last problems here. But then when I keep on reconfiguring this overhead panel, then there's a good chance that everything is finished until the FS weekend in March. And I hope I see many of you there in the Netherlands, and maybe we can talk directly in person. And if you can't come to the FS weekend, then you can stay tuned for my next upcoming video. Let's be surprised what this will be. And so again, thank you for having you all here watching this live stream. Good night, and I hope we'll see you soon back on the flight deck.